morning, it looked like hell, but it's just how I am this morning. My morning started around 4:30. Tim wasn't feeling so well, groggy, dry mouth, not peeing as much. A lot of the similar symptoms that got us into the hospital in the first place. So we kind of spent our morning tracking symptoms, looking at his urine levels, looking at the color, taking temperatures, and then calling the on-call nurse or on-call physician at Freighter's. They redirected us to, they said we should go and get labs, so that was kind of another new step. So we did. We went in this morning and went to the Kewaskum Clinic, which is about 15 minutes from our house, and got labs, and had a lovely conversation with a woman named Vanessa who drew the labs for Tim. She also had cancer, and just noted like what a blessing cancer was in her life. And I just want to say, like, we are so open to this journey being a blessing for us and for our family. Timmy is definitely experiencing it as a blessing for him. I think things that we've been trying to shift for a long time are just shifting at lightning speed. It's like when you're in a mode of crisis, it forces you to open to help, resources, conversations, kind of all of the things that you can't really open to when you're trying to do things the way that you've always done them. So I'm just like fully immersed in this realm. I'm flying by the seat of my pants. I'm off to my second day back at work, which just feels crazy to me considering everything else that's going on, but it's what I've got to do, so that's what I'm doing. Because that's what pays our bills, it's what keeps us insured, it's what puts food on our table. But I'm like open to life looking different than it currently or than it has. It already is looking different, and I want it to continue looking different moving forward. One of the things that I'm super mindful of this morning is that, like, I had all of these dreams and aspirations that I was really trying to make happen. I'm a climate action coach, a climate activist, and I think outside of my time at work, when Tim would go and focus like on dealing with his pain, beyond his, just like after dinner, he would go downstairs and just like try to cope with the pain that he was experiencing, and I would get the girls all situated for the evening and then go and spend time doing my climate work, which could look like setting up my systems, hopping on Zoom calls, hopping on individual calls. I'm really passionate about climate action and climate, like all things related to what's happening on our planet. I've personally witnessed the devastating side of climate change in multiple places that I have lived and traveled to, and that our family has lived, from wildfires to flooding to unusually high winds, devastating wildfires. And then just extreme like heat and cold and tree die-off, like, you just didn't even know was possible. Like in Colorado, I just saw over a stretch of, a short time, all of these beloved pine trees just dying left and right from the pine beetle. And then when we returned to Wisconsin, I saw like all of the ash trees that just made the forest so beautiful, and especially in the fall, they would just be beautiful with these like gorgeous yellow leaves that would make the forest look like a fairyland. And when we moved back to Wisconsin, these trees were, in large part gone because of the ash borer. And I've like drawn all these connections from all the places I've lived, and I've just really seen how they're all a part of the same system that we have relied on for so long to create a form of stability that has allowed us to thrive as a species. And we've really, frankly, taken it for granted. And I'm learning so much in such a short time from cancer. And, I feel like I've taken my health for granted. I do things to care for my well-being, but I've essentially taken my health for granted. And I've taken Tim's health for granted. I mean, he eats all the right stuff and does all this stuff for self-care, and was really working to the nth degree to try to like manage his pain in very natural and ways. And, but like cancer was slowly taking all the different parts of his body down. And so no matter what he did to try to manage the symptoms, it was an uphill battle that he was not going to win. And I've really been like torn about like what will it take for us to address the needs of our planet, on this huge scale. And there's so much traction being made. There's so many people doing such amazing things. And I personally have been really involved with a lot of amazing people, and it just breaks my heart to not be directly doing that work with them right now. But I feel like this piece that I haven't been able to understand is like, why can't people see it? Like, why can't people see the things that I see? Why is it so hard? And just so you know, my eyes are on the road. I'm on a country road that has actually no traffic. So I hope you can hear me. But my eyes are on the road. Like, what will it take? What will it take to like take heroic steps, or to even take some steps to like really focus on making our planet an inhabitable place for generations to come, making it a place that our children will be able to thrive in. And that's been a mystery for me, because I've lived in places where it's like I couldn't help but see it. It was like smack in my face. And I've read things that have just made my head spin. And, I've had a scientific training, and so I know how to read those things, and I'm like, gosh, like these numbers don't look good. So what I'm learning about this cancer journey is that, if you're treating the symptoms, but you don't really understand the root cause of the problem, and you treat the flood, you treat the wildfire, you blow air conditioning into your house to, fix the heat problem. You turn your heat up because it's unusually cold. Those are temporary fixes that fix our experience of the environment that we're in, but they don't fix the root of the problem. And cancer is teaching me that, we have to pay attention to the numbers. Those numbers mean everything about how the system is functioning. And I think that the slow creep of cancer and the way that it takes over a body unknowingly, and it eventually impacts all the systems, and all the systems are connected. So if one goes down, they all start going down. That is what's happening. That is the slow creep of climate change. It is slowly taking our systems down, and if it's not right on our doorstep, if it's not causing a crisis for us, if it's not causing, the systems to come crashing down in a way that we can see and directly experience, it's hard to, we don't prioritize it. I mean, Tim's pain was screaming at me. He was saying, I feel like I'm dying. And I'm feeling like it's another layer of the same pain that he's always been experiencing. But his body knew, and it was moving him to say these things that I didn't know how to see. I didn't know how to read it as something different than, what I had been seeing and hearing before. So I guess the question is, for me, is as a climate coach and climate activist and somebody who's passionate about sustainability, is how do we help? How can we as a species see if it's not directly impacting us in a way that causes us extreme discomfort and pain? I don't have the answer for that. But I do feel like some of the answer lies within this experience of cancer and the way that it impacts our bodies. It's a slow takedown that eventually, once it starts to take hold, it's a really fast takedown that can lead to, he was on the doorstep of death. So in my own climate work, I feel like, part of me's wanted to go to this nice place of well, it can be fun and it can be awesome and we can do fun things to make the world a better place. And that's true, but we also as a species have to be willing to look at the numbers, really turn into the numbers, turn into the pain, turn into the discomfort, turn into the systems that are collapsing, and be willing to go there and put our attention there and address those, so that the numbers can begin to right themselves, so that the systems can begin to correct themselves, so that they can thrive. Because if they don't thrive, we don't thrive. We are nature. We are water. We are earth. We are fire. We are air. That is who we are as human beings. We are not separate from. So that's just what's really present for me. And I don't know what the cancer journey means for my climate journey and my climate activism. I don't know. I know I can't be attending all of the Zoom calls in the evenings that I was attending. I can't be spending the amount of time on my computer that I was. I know a lot of that was passion for me, and some of it was distraction from the pain that I was witnessing that I had no idea what to do about. So that value for a green, clean, sustainable, thriving planet has not gone away. And I'm open to that work shifting in a way that I just I can't see yet. And I'm grateful for everybody who's carrying on with the work when people like me have to set it down for a while. And I beg of you, if it's something that you feel an interest in or concern for, that you take the next steps, whatever those are, whether it's pick up a book and read to educate yourself, or sit down with your family and watch a movie to educate yourself. Turn into the problem and look at it. Study the numbers so that they become familiar to you, so that you can begin to register them as concern, that maybe you'll even begin to register them as crisis, because crisis motivates action, and we have to act even amidst all of the other things that are going on in our lives, like my husband having cancer, like our bills needing to be paid, like our farm needing to be tended to, like if we don't have a planet, then all the rest, like if our planet isn't thriving, if we can't grow the food in our gardens, if we can't breathe the air that we're walking around in, if we can't drink the water because it's so polluted, then who the hell cares about the rest of it? Like, the rest doesn't matter if that isn't tended to. And our own piece of earth, the earth that we live in, matters too. It is a part of the whole. So, I don't know. I don't have more to say about that right now, but thanks for hearing me and hearing my heart. I'm getting ready to turn onto a bigger road, so I'm going to turn this off for now, but I'm just grateful for you being a witness to me and to us, and I'm sending you love and blessings in your own life. Bye.